And how do you know if you need, a nervous system reboot? Anxiety, sleepless nights, money things in your business, like you get to a certain level. It's not so much like if you're at a certain level and stay there, that could be a different situation, but you can get up really high and then you crash down. That could be a nervous system thing. Things like that are all indications that there is a nervous system situation to work with. And what's happening in the transformational space is that there's a lot of posts out there about you need to balance your nervous system. The first thing is that's valid and accurate. But the second thing that's happening in those posts is that they're lying to you. And it's not intentional. It's coming from the position of where many of the posters are at, as in like they're yoga teachers. I was a yoga teacher, right? For a decade. Yoga is wonderful. Yoga is still a part of my life. It's just not the end all or be all in terms of integrating, digesting, assimilating your nervous system, healing your nervous system. And there's a lot of posting going on about, you want to balance your nervous system, go to the spa, do restorative yoga, buy the pretty dress. You guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen them in the entrepreneur groups. And that's the top level. That's the first layer of the situation. Like, yes, doing restorative yoga will help you be more calm for 3 hours or that day. Or any of those situations, going to the spa, the restorative yoga, the shopping dates, they'll help you be more calm and more at ease for, say, 3 hours or the next day or whatever is up. But the result is going to wear off, because underneath that, there's still the root cause of whatever is causing nervous system imbalance. And when I say nervous and system imbalance, I don't mean like you had a bad day or ASAL didn't happen or you got stuck in traffic and you felt cranky. I mean like chronic moodiness, chronic mood swings, chronic anxiety, chronic fear, all of those ongoing situations, PTSD and trauma for sure, and how trauma shows up in your body, right? And then how trauma shows up in your business and your relationships. All of those types of scenarios are speaking to an actual nervous system imbalance. And I said this before, I'm actually on this live to open the floor to you, but until people pop in questions, I'm going to talk about yesterday's post. So if you have questions about mentorship or want a complimentary business reading, put your question in the comments and I will answer it for you. So to go back to what I was saying about the nervous system piece until the comments appear, is that the spa date, the restorative yoga, the pretty outfit, whatever those entrepreneurial posts are saying, will give you that little bit of leverage or that window for that day or that week. But it's not addressing the root cause of nervous system imbalance. And the root cause is frequently, but not always, because it can be biological, but the root cause is frequently, but not always, trauma, and trauma of some sort that happened before the age of 7 or 8. We process things differently at different points in our life. And there's a point around age 2 in the childhood where we have the capacity to verbalize things, 2 to 3. So any trauma that happens before 2 or 3 is pretty much going to be repressed until the deeper healing occurs. Hey, Tiffany, good to see you, love. Any trauma that happens before 2 or 3 is going to be more repressed and have a bigger negative impact on your nervous system. And then there's a second layer here of trauma that happens before 7 or 8, which is more frequently conscious, not always, but more frequently, and is easier to put into words, and will also have a negative impact on your nervous system, possibly to a lesser degree. So when these mentors are saying, do restorative yoga, meditate, yes, do restorative yoga and meditate. Yes, that will give you insights. Yes, that will create space. Yes. And what it's not going to do is unearth the nervous system trauma, the trauma that is lodged in your nervous system. It's like you're creating space around it if you meditate or go to the spa or do a relaxing yoga class. But you're not taking it out of your psyche, your body, and your aura. I'm gonna pause because I'm on this whole topic and I want to see if there's questions on this topic or questions in general, which was the whole point of this live stream. Okay. You guys are here, but you're quiet. Okay, so I'll keep going. So what is required, the solution to this, imbalanced nervous system, anxiety, sleepless nights, mood swings, and mood swings are a huge one. The first thing is that you need to get to the deeper cause. And the deeper cause is frequently trauma. I have a whole story about this with myself. I'm not going to get into it today, but if you guys scroll back on my timeline to about, I think like April 14th or something, I posted a whole part of my journey with this. The deeper cause is frequently, but not always, childhood trauma that is psychological, physical, or sexual in nature, and how that is still living in your physical body, in your psyche, and in your energy, spirit / connection to God. And the first part of bringing balance to your nervous system, sure, you can go to the spa or meditate, but the first real part after that is, I'm going to say, feeling your way to the deeper cause, because it's not something that you can like think about and be like, oh, boom, I know, because it's like usually not conscious. But feeling your way alone or with a mentor to the deeper cause, and then clearing that deeper cause on the level of the body, the level of the psyche or your psychology, and the spiritual and energetic levels. So that's the first real part of bringing balance to your nervous system. Again, pausing to see if you guys have questions. Okay, so that's the first real part. There was something else I wanted to say about that, and I lost my train of thought, but there's more to that. A huge part of that first part, within that first part, is getting intimately connected to your body and giving yourself permission to feel. So that's a huge subset of that first part. Intimate connection with your body. And I don't mean like, here's my big toe. I mean like tracking emotions in your body. Like, oh, I feel sad. And when I feel sad, I feel that in my heart. That kind of intimacy. And giving yourself permission to feel. As an extension of that, what I was going to say is that a lot of coaches are posting about this nervous system rewiring topic, which is good because it's a conversation that we need to have. And I have no doubt that they know how to do the bodily level because they're like former yoga teachers, former body workers. The trick is that most of them don't know how to work with your psyche. And I'm going to say that very boldly. Most coaches don't know how to work with your psyche. A huge aspect of this is psychological. And it's about how you take things in. The root of nervous system imbalance is usually trauma. Not always. It can be something else, but usually. And when that core trauma occurs, there's a physical component. There's like how your body responds to it. There's an energetic and spiritual component. And there's also this very specific psychological component, especially if the trauma happened from other people. So like, let's say you had a really critical mother and you were 5. Your mother's voice is now living inside of you until you do the healing work. Your mother's voice is still living inside of you. And that's psychological and that's nuanced and that requires a psychology background, which I do have. And 9 out of 10 people posting about this do not know how to do that aspect of the work. Okay, I'm going to pause again and see if there's questions about what I've said so far, or see if there's general questions, for the intuitive readings that I've offered on this. So the second part of this nervous system rewiring is not just about going deep, finding the root, clearing. The second part of this is about expanding your container and expanding your ability to receive. We all, and when I say expanding your ability to receive, I mean money. I also mean love, pleasure, attention, sex, sexual pleasure, expanding your ability to receive all the things that we all want to receive. We all have our own set points over receiving. Whether that's a set point over this is how much love and affection and attention I can take in, or a financial set point. And I really want to get into the financial set point today. A financial set point of I can have 10K months, but then I crash down to 4K. Or I can have 10K months, but no matter what I do, let's say you have the strategies. I'm not a business strategist. If you want business strategy, I'll give you some referrals. I can have 10K months, but then I try to get to 20K and I'm doing all the strategies perfectly and my coach says it's aligned and it's not working. Yeah, that's a set point issue with receiving. So the second part of nervous system rewiring, and this one does get addressed in a lot of the social media posting, maybe not deeply enough, but it gets mentioned, is shifting your set point to receive. So, for example, let's say that right now I was going to give you a compliment and tell you what a wonderful human being you are. Can you take that in? You're an amazing person. Just take a minute and notice if you can let that in. Or if part of you starts to like push it away and say, oh no, I'm not, like that little voice in your head says, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. She means that for the person behind me. So noticing that. Because that right there is an indication of your ability to receive. Now, we're not doing anything specific. We're not talking about you and money on this live stream. We're not talking about like you and love or sex or men, or a big one for women is pleasure in the body, like body love, right? We're not talking about those really specific ones right now. But even in this very, very general example of me giving you a compliment and you noticing, can I take that in? Do I say, yay, I'm wonderful? Or does it sort of get pushed away? That's the beginning indicator of your ability to receive. So if you're wanting that next level of nervous system integration, if you're desiring that, if that's something that you're wanting for yourself, and you're reading, and I'm laughing because, right, I read them to you guys, right? And you're reading the like, go to the spa, do yoga with your feet on a chair, and then your nervous system will be healed posts. And maybe you've tried to do some of that to heal your nervous system, and then you're like, shit, this works for like one day, and then I'm a train wreck again. Yeah, it's going to work for like a day or two, and then you're going to be where you started, or maybe very slightly better. These are the two things that are required to really heal and rewire your nervous system and to bring you to that new sustainable level.